Drink the doctor.
It's the Dr. Pepper, so.
Okay. All right, let's get the March 28th, 2023 North Platte Planning Commission meeting underway here. Item number 1's roll call.
Davies.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Matthews.
Here.
Bain.
Here.
Weber. Fudge.
Here.
Jett.
Here.
Forbes.
Here.
And Worrell.
Here.
Okay, a quorum is present.
Sorry about jumping the gun on you, Chance.
It's okay, I was a little late.
Item number 2, back up. Current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted on the back of the council chambers back there on that wall. If you'd like to refer to that at any point, you're welcome to do so. Item number 2, approval of minutes from the meeting held January 24th, 2023. I assume everybody's had a chance to review those.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Who said that? Jet, thank you. Motion by Bain, seconded by Jet to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Everybody get their little remote control out of your drawer? Perfect. Let's try them out for the first time tonight. And the minutes are approved. Item number 3, file number SU 23-004. Discuss and consider action on application by MRN Properties LLC for preliminary and final approval of Nequita First Replat located at 4004 West 14th Street. Judy.
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that is a preliminary and final plat and a couple of location maps. The subdivision will split one lot into 2 lots. Proposed lot 1 will be 1.35 acres, proposed lot 2, 2.53 acres. The property is currently a mobile home park, which will remain in place. The City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 156, 145, height and lot requirements requires a mobile home park to be a minimum of 4 acres. The applicant submitted a variance request to the City Board of Adjustment, which was heard on February 28th at 8:30 a.m. and unanimously approved by the board. The reason for the variance has to do with state requirements for well. This is on a well system. The well went bad, tested for something, and so they have to replace the well to be in compliance with Nebraska statutes regarding mobile home parks. You can only have one well for, I believe, 12 mobile homes, or 15, I don't know exactly. So they had to split the lot so that they could put 2 wells out there. City sewer is available to service the proposed lots. City water is not available. Again, that's the necessity for the well system. Planning staff has no objections to approval of Nequita First Replat since the variance to lot size was approved. And we do have a representative of the applicant if you have any questions for him.
My name is Wayne Griffin, and I'm here for Alan Fugate, who had to be out of town for a few days.
Any questions for Mr. Griffin at this point?
Thanks.
Discussion. If not, anybody have a motion they'd like to offer?
I move to approve file number SU 23-004 for preliminary and final approval of Nequita First Replat. Second that.
Motion by Jet, seconded by Whirl to approve the replat. Any more discussion? If not, let's take a vote. And the replat has been approved. Item number 4, file number AM 23-001, discuss and consider action on an amendment to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 156.085, 156.105, 156.125, height and lot requirements, and section 156.150 residential use table. Judy?
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments and the pages that show the additions and deletions. This is the proposed changes that were recently updated, probably about 6-8 months back in the residential zoning code. After we got it and started using the code, we noticed that there were a few typos, a few things that should have been in there that were not. And so we just edited those, so it's just simply, this amendment is just correcting those errors. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those.
So, this is the first of several public hearings tonight, so the following will pertain to all of those public hearings. Planning Commission values your input and wants to hear from the audience during public hearings. Anyone wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chair, that's me. Once recognized, please approach the podium, state your name and address. Please keep your comments to a minimum if possible. Repetitive and excessively long testimony may be ended at the discretion of the chair. I don't like to be grumpy, so let's not do that. All right? And with that, the public hearing is open. Anybody want to talk about this one? Going once, going twice.
I move to close the public hearing.
Motion by Jett, seconded by Davies to close the public hearing. Please vote on that. Public hearing is closed, so now we'll talk amongst ourselves up here. Any discussion from this group? Everything looked pretty straightforward to me when I read it. Okay,
All right, I move to approve the amendments to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, sections 156.085, 156.105, 156.125, height and lot requirements, and sections 156.150, residential use table as proposed.
Second.
motion by Whirl, seconded by Schilling to approve the amendments. Any further discussion? If not, get your little voters out. And those are approved. That will go to council, correct?
Yes, this will go to the North Platte City Council again for a public hearing on April 4th.
All right, item number 5, file number Z 23-001, discuss and consider action on an application by Barefoot Bet LLC to rezone certain lands from an F1 floodway district to an A1 traditional agricultural district located on West Kubic Road and described as Lot 2, Briner's second replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska, consisting of approximately 46.06 acres. Judy.
You should have all received a copy of the proposed zone change, along with a copy of, kind of well, I guess it's not a site plan, just where the line is going to go. The property owners are requesting the zone change to allow for future residential development on the property. Currently, the F1 floodway district does not allow for residential construction. The applicants have requested the city to consider moving the F1 floodway district to be consistent with FEMA floodplain map and rezone the F1 floodway to an A1 transitional agricultural district. Brett Berkland, city engineer, and Dave Hahn, city floodplain manager, visited the site, prepared a map of the proposed rezoning line. The proposed line is in conformance with the current FEMA floodplain map. Moving the F1 district south will allow the property owners the ability to build a residential structure towards the north side of the property. Planning staff has no objection to the rezoning. The F1 floodway district will then be in line with the FEMA floodplain map, and it seems to be a better fit for the area. The area is surrounded by agriculturally zoned property, so rezoning to an A1 transitional agricultural district will not be a detriment to the surrounding area. The property owners are in the audience if you have any questions, and it does look like Dave Hahn and Brent Berkland are there also if you have any additional questions.
Okay, again, public hearing, same rules apply. If you'd like to talk on this one, the public hearing is now open. So quiet tonight. Going once. Going twice.
Move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Jet, to close the public hearing. Take a vote on that. Public hearing is now closed. We'll talk amongst ourselves up here now. Any discussion amongst this group?
We're quiet too.
I think it only makes sense to
It's pretty
Yeah.
put
straightforward.
it on the floodway line, so. I move to approve file number Z 23-001 to rezone certain lands from an F1 floodway district to an A1 transitional agricultural district on property described as Lot 2, Briner Second Replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska.
I'll second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Matthews to approve. Any more discussion, or any discussion? There'd be more wouldn't mean that we talked about it much. No? Okay. And that is approved.
This again will go to the city council meeting on April 4th.
Okay, the next two items on the agenda are related, and so the public hearing will be one public hearing on the two items. So we need to deal with them in order, though. File number AM 23-002, discuss and consider action on an amendment to the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 Future Land Use Map to amend certain land from a residential low-density single-family to commercial located at 2620 South Willow Street and described as part of Lot 3 and part of the northwest quarter, southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 13 North, Range 30 West of the 6th Prime Meridian, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and with this one, you should have attached a copy of the current North Platte future land use map as it is in the comprehensive plan with the noted change in land use. In order to rezone a property, it is the duty of the Planning Commission to ensure that the rezoning is in conformance with the current comprehensive plan. The request for an amendment has been submitted in conjunction with the rezoning. The applicants are requesting the amendment to allow the change in zone. Planning staff has no objections to the amendment. The parcel currently shows commercial on the east and residential on the west. It makes sense to have the entire parcel under one zoning designation to allow for future business expansion. Being the current site to FedEx, it is reasonable to rezone the entire parcel to commercial. The property to the south is zoned residential, however, is currently a large vacant lot that could potentially develop into either residential or commercial.
Okay, and with that, again, we can't take up item number 7 unless item number 6 passes, so we're going to open the public hearing on both at this time. So if anybody would like to comment on either the change to the comprehensive plan or the rezoning, you're welcome to come forward now. Name and address, please, sir.
2511 South Oak Street,
And your name?
Troy Graz.
Thank you, Troy. Go ahead.
So I recently purchased my dad's lot out there, or the land out there. So I guess I didn't get any kind of lot diagram or anything. I just got this letter. So I don't know how this pertains to me, I guess, in my land. So I guess I would like a little more explanation on
Sure.
how it affects me.
Okay, I can show you a copy of what they're doing, which is no problem. The reason you got a letter is we're required by Nebraska state statute to notify property owners within 300 feet of the property of a zone change from their neighboring property. But I'll
Okay.
show you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But then that's still in front of me and
I'm not exactly sure where your property is.
so this would be my property here.
Yeah.
This chunk here.
Yep, and I'm gonna go to that.
Okay. But then this is all commercial.
Any other questions? Okay, anybody else want to testify on this one?
Robert Stefka, 2016 William Avenue. Here on behalf of Blickenstaff Realty, the family that owns this property. And this is just one of those unique situations where we're asking for a rezoning of a parcel that's already bisected with two separate zones. You know, so on the eastern part of this, we do already have that B2 commercial zoning. And so ultimately, the request is just simply to make the entirety of the parcel uniform within the same zoning. And so, yes, there is a project planned for the current occupant, which is FedEx, to expand their footprint just to allow for more parking. But in order to do that project, it would encroach into the current residential zone. And so, again, we're not necessarily, I mean, it is a rezoning, but we're just asking for the entirety of the parcel to be uniform with the same zoning.
Do you know whether or not they're planning to expand the size of that terminal or just add parking?
Parking. Yeah, because, again, and that's part of the zoning, you know, there are no structures, as far as I know, being planned. It's just merely to add more of a footprint for their parking.
Any other questions for Mr. Stefka? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else on item 6 or 7 care to testify?
I move to close the public hearing.
Motion by Schilling, seconded by Davies to close the public hearing. Let's vote on that one. And the public hearing is now closed on both item number 6 and item number 7. So any discussion, first of all, on item number 6, which is to change, amend the comprehensive plan from 2011?
I have a question. So if the parcel was already partially commercial and partially residential, can you kind of talk a little bit about why that even happened in 2011? Was it just the way it was?
That parcel was probably zoned before I was ever in my seat, so
Okay.
I'm not sure why they chose to just do a portion of a parcel, of a parcel. I don't think that that's really good planning to do that, because then you do end up with, you know, they wanna expand, the property's already zoned commercial, but yet it's not, so, you know, that doesn't work out real well. Why the land use was done that way in 2011, they probably just saw a need for residential and just felt that, you know, since they only took up a portion of that parcel, that it would still be good for residential.
Yeah.
But
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions on this one? Does somebody want to offer a motion?
I move to approve file number AM 23-002, an amendment to North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 future land use map to amend certain land from a residential low-density single-family to commercial located at 2620 South Willow Street.
I'll second.
Motion by Schilling, seconded by Bain. To approve. Any other discussion? If not, put up the vote, please. Item number 6 has been approved. So, item number 7, file number Z23-002, discuss and consider action on an application by Blickenstaff Realty Corporation to rezone certain land from an R1 dwelling district to a B2 highway commercial district on property located at 2620 South Willow Street and described as part of lot 3 and part of the northwest quarter southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 13 North, Range 30 West, in the 6 Prime Meridian, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy. Anything else to add on this one?
Nope, I don't,
So this is actually the rezoning then?
yes.
Okay. Questions on that? Brent still here? Name and address, please, sir.
Brent Berkland, city engineer.
Do we have any concern about the traffic down in that neck of the woods? There's not a lot of ingress egress other than right off Willow.
We've talked about that, depending on the usage, which I don't know if the zoning is really the place that we have much, to talk about, because we don't really have traffic plans with zoning, because it could be anything of this zoning. But we've talked about that potential concern that, once something comes forward with some details, we could discuss a little bit further. What does that mean? And some of it might get into some operational discussions. So it's Eugene's bottleneck, and that's where FedEx right now goes out. And it's something that's on our radar that we're probably gonna just have to work through as a city staff as we see things come forward anyway.
Questions? Any other questions for Brent? That was the only thing I had.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
That
Huh?
Russian Olive Road still gravel along this parcel, correct?
Yes, and there was some discussion with staff to, let the current owner know that the only ingress egress that they're gonna have is on Willow, so they wouldn't be allowed to have an ingress egress unless they paved that road. But like I said, we can't put conditions on a rezoning of that nature, but that is the discussion in place right now, is to not allow them ingress egress on a gravel road.
Any other discussion?
I move to approve file number Z 23-002 to rezone certain land from an R1 dwelling district to a B2 highway commercial district on property located at 2620 South Willow Street.
Second.
Motion by Whirl, seconded by Forbes to approve. Any other discussion? Not? And the rezoning is approved by this body.
And both of these, again, will go to the city council meeting on April 4th.
Okey-doke, item number 8, discuss and consider action on a resolution regarding Wilkinson Exit 179 Commercial Redevelopment Plan on property described as the following tract in Section 11, Township 13 North, Range 30 West of the 6 Prime Meridian, Lincoln County, Nebraska, to wit, all that part of Government Lot 5 lying east of the easterly right-of-way line of Newberry Access Road and all of Government Lots 6, 7, and 8, except a 34.94 acre tract described in survey recorded at instrument number 301203101 on May 23, 2012, and quitclaimed deed recorded at instrument number 201203113 on May 24, 2012, in the office of the Lincoln County, Nebraska Register of Deeds pursuant to Nebraska Community Development Law.
And
Judy.
you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that is a resolution for the planning commission to act on, and attached to that resolution is a copy of the redevelopment plan. The city planning commission's responsibility in a redevelopment process is to take public comment on whether the real estate described is in conformance with the city of North Platte's comprehensive plan, and if the project meets or will meet subdivision and zoning regulations, and is an overall fit for the development of the city. The following statements should be considered and confirmed. This property, as presented, is located in an area that has been declared blighted and substandard. The property is in conformance with the current City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan. The project meets or will meet subdivision and zoning regulations. The development of this property to its full potential is in the best interest of the City of North Platte and the entire region. The principal purpose of a comprehensive plan is to provide basic policies to guide the many activities of the city. It is used to help determine investment priorities and guide public and private development. At the same time, a comprehensive plan must be flexible in order to address changing conditions and respond to new situations that cannot be foreseen at the time of adoption. One goal of the current city comprehensive plan is to create a diversified economic base that stimulates local investment and spending. Economic diversification is obtained by providing the city and its planned growth area generous supply of developable, strategically located sites for office, research and development and industrial uses, providing adequate public facilities and services to areas that are planned for employment center development, retaining and expanding North Platte's existing base of offices, research development businesses, industrial facilities. As presented in the redevelopment plan, the redevelopment project is an 8-lot commercial development that will not only generate significant economic activity, but will also provide an inviting entrance to the city of North Platte. At full development, the redevelopment project will include the next Fat Dogs Travel Center and truck stop, a standalone restaurant, and 50,000 square feet of retail stores, a hotel, corporate offices, and additional office and food service building. Site preparation and infrastructure costs are estimated at $5,122,694, with building construction estimated to exceed $16 million. New jobs created at project completion is estimated to reach 98 full-time jobs. Planning staff recommends approval of the Wilkinson Exit 179 Commercial Redevelopment Plan and passage of the attached resolution. The redevelopment plan is in conformance with the North Platte, Nebraska Comprehensive Plan 2011 and meets or will meet current City of North Platte subdivision and zoning regulations. The property is located in an area that has been declared blighted and substandard. This area is appropriate for commercial uses by providing direct access to I-80 and Highway 30 without disrupting residential areas of the community. Additionally, commercial development in this location is a good fit for the area and growth and development of the city of North Platte. If you have any questions, we do have a representative in the audience, and I can try and answer those also.
I think that's a typo, though.
All right, so this is a public hearing. Being all you've been fairly quiet to this point, I'm assuming you're all here for this, so a reminder of the rules initially. If you'd like to come forward and testify, and I've got you one and I've got you two so far, okay? Please stand up, be recognized by the chair. I'll invite you forward, give me your name and address. Please keep your comments on task and brief if at all possible. Mr. Bacon.
Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, my name is Mike Bacon, Gothenburg, Nebraska, Special Counsel to the Redevelopment Authority. Judy's presentation cut about an hour and a half off of mine. So.
We like that.
That was good. At the request of the Redevelopment Authority, I prepared this plan based on the application provided by Wilkinson Development, Inc. There are some pieces that are additional interesting pieces, but they do not really address the issue that's before you. Is this conform to your comprehensive plan? Obviously been undeveloped since 1968 when the interstate went through, for those of you that remember that far back. The analysis that we do on the cost-benefit analysis as part of this redevelopment plan is interesting. What's it going to do to the school? Do we have sufficient police, fire, and so forth? And what's the fiscal impact to the community? The 98 jobs are going to provide millions of dollars to local citizens in wages. But the interesting piece, when you calculate the amount of money it's going to use for TIF, and you offset that against what the sales tax are going to be generated, which is primarily going to be from interstate travelers, they're almost a wash. In other words, rough numbers, $300,000 worth of TIF a year, all in, and that will probably be real close to what the sales tax would be for the city of Gothenburg. Other than that, this project appears to meet all of the pieces that are required of the community development law. If you have any questions on those elements, I'd be glad to address them. The Wilkinson Corporation is well represented here. So my recommendation is not to approve or disapprove, but it does fit all of the elements and is a good use of that piece of property. So Mr. Wilkinson and Clarine can tell you the story about what's going to happen there. It's a great project. So, all of the costs for infrastructure, which are really significant, are going to be paid for by the Wilkinson development before they can build their building, which is pretty large. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. Name and address, please.
Jared Shepard, 76031 Road 412 in Gothenburg.
Thanks, Jared. Go ahead.
We're super excited for all the growth coming in. We just want to make sure that it's not going to impede our customers there at I-80 Lakeside Campground. We have several monthlies staying with us right now. Last count, I think 36 monthlies. We see thousands, tens of thousands, I would say, customers come in every year. Two main concerns are, we have legal easement on that road coming into us. We really need to see that road stay open, otherwise we're going to have major concerns for our customers, and a lot of those customers being North Platte residents that have to make it to work every day. Another major concern would be a fence around the truck stop. If you look at the other truck stops we have around, there's a lot of trash blowing and stuff, and we really like to keep our grounds pretty clean, and we'd just like to keep that trash off of our property if possible. Once again, we're super happy. We want it to come in. We really need to have some consideration put on how it comes in, and maybe just all get along with each other.
Perfect. Any questions? Thanks for coming tonight.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Gary Pearson, President of North Platte Area Chamber Development Corporation, 502 South Dewey. Just wanted to allow the Planning Commission to understand what brought us to this point in the development process. There's 2 or 3 of you that were on the Planning Commission when we, as a Chamber Development Corporation, brought forward the blight study. This was a few years back in the hopes of doing 2 different things. One was to take the old city lagoon and make it development worthy of recruiting an industry in the North Platte. We had some preliminary discussions with different industries, but we had nothing formalized at the time. The other thing we did when we commissioned the blight study is to incorporate that quadrant of the interstate that had been left undeveloped, as Mr. Bacon said, since 1968. There's a reason. It's because it was cost prohibitive. When you look at all the other developments out there and the way that they have developed over time, the reason this one didn't is because the enormous infrastructure costs and land development preparation costs that would go into making that blight eligible. Our commitment to the Planning Commission at that time and the City Council at that time is we would do our best to recruit in an industry that would fit the profile of the city lagoon, as well as something that would make a lot of sense to be on the interstate corridor to generate additional revenue for the community. As we all know now, what that wound up being was sustainable beef. When sustainable beef come in, that told all of us that we're going to have additional truck traffic and worker traffic coming in off the interstate, turning at that interchange, and it made all the sense in the world that we tried to attract some kind of additional truck stop development because of all the additional truck traffic that's going to be in town, as well as the other amenities to go for it. We're just very fortunate that a local developer stepped up and was willing to do that. I think you can look around the community and the way that they care for their properties, the way that they've developed them and modernized them over time, the way that they care for it, the employees that they have generated here, the fact that they kept their corporate headquarters in North Platte. And I can speak to their community involvement as well. Every one of their independent businesses that they have in North Platte are independent individual members of the Chamber Development Corporation. That's how much they care about the community, how much they invest in it. And you can't look very far in North Platte and see their footprint and handprints all over it. So we welcome very much the opportunity for the community to embrace this, and we encourage you to do so.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Just to, first off, thank you guys for seeing this.
Name and address.
Clary Nykoff, Wilkinson Development, Chief
Thank
of
you.
Operations. Just to let you know, Mark Wilkinson is in the room, as well as myself, for any questions regarding the project. But again, thank you for kicking this can next to the next process and next point. If you guys have any questions for us.
Clarine, would you talk about the, access to the I-80 campground, especially during development and the questions that they brought up? I think those were good, yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing is that we can't get ahead of ourselves. This is a part of the TIF process. This is just trying to make sure that we can go through with TIF financing. And then, once we get that done, we'll work with all the city staff to figure out the subdivision, what that looks like, how the road will be maintained, access from the Newberry, working with the state of Nebraska for that. So there's a lot more to this. We just have to get through the TIF process.
Yep.
But thank you. And we heard their concerns. I wrote all of them down, so
you, yeah.
we'll make sure we address all of those at some point.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions for Clarine?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Going once. Going twice.
Move to close public hearing.
Motion by Schilling, seconded by Davies to close the public hearing. Any discussion on that? If not, let's vote on that. And the public hearing is now closed. So, our job is to answer the four-question test on the front. Is this in an area that's been blighted substandard? Is the property in conformance with current City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan? Does it meet or will it meet the subdivision and zoning regulations, and that the development of this property is in the full potential, or to its full potential, is in the best interest of the City of North Platte and the entire region? Those are the four tests you have to answer. So, discussion amongst ourselves regarding that.
To me, it meets it. Have any questions? So now, have any questions?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think it checks all four boxes, and I'm thrilled that it's a local company that's investing in our community, so.
I feel it's a good fit.
Yeah, this is a really cool development out there on a property that's needed developed for a really long time.
Right.
So, all right, if there's no other discussion, I think you have a sample motion in front of you one way or the other.
I move to approve the resolution recommending approval of the Wilkinson Exit 179 Commercial Redevelopment Plan and approval of related actions.
Second.
Bain beat you to it.
We're all excited.
Man, did you see how excited I
I
got at this?
know. Motion by Schilling, seconded by Bain to approve. Any other discussion?
I would say I completely agree. This is a great project for this spot that needed it for a long time, so I think it meets all of the TIF things, but I will excuse myself from the voting.
I noticed your name was on a drawing here. Gotcha. Any other discussion? If not, would you put up the voting panel, please? And the motion passes with Davies abstaining. Good luck. Congratulations. Thank you.
This will go to the Community Redevelopment Authority. I believe that meeting is scheduled for Thursday at 9, and then on to City Council with the approval of the CRA for April 4th.
Okay.
Thank you.
You don't all have to get up and leave at once, but you can if you want to on that one. Item number 9, discuss changes to definitions of, and commercial zoning regulations. Judy?
I didn't send out anything because quite frankly, I didn't have time this week, but, I do have some home occupation regulations that I've been working on, so I will try and email all of you, this week at some point to give you some samples of what I'm thinking and bring it back at, probably the next council meeting or planning commission meeting. Will give you a chance to take a look at what some of the other communities are doing and how I kind of crafted the home occupation. So I thought we'd start with home occupation and then jump into redoing some of the commercial zoning regs like we did the residential. So that's where I'm at with that one.
Okay. Anything else on that? Any questions? Item number 10, discuss possible future annexation.
So we did get a request for annexation. I'm gonna jump up over here to the map so I can show you. It's down here by the golf course area. So this is outside of city limits. You can see the city limits line goes here, and then it's up here. So this pocket is all out of city limits. So since we got a request for this, one of the things that we're struggling with, this is the NPPD canal. There's some law enforcement issues that are happening there, so whether it's county jurisdiction, whether it's city jurisdiction. So we would like to contact NPPD and possibly bring that in, and then maybe close off this, but we will have to contact property owners within there. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what we're possibly thinking about. This one will be a friendly annexation, so that'll go first. I'm hoping to make these friendly if the property owners are willing, but that may be something that you're gonna see coming forward, so,
Is that basically both sides of the canal?
yes.
I think that,
No.
that's in, isn't
It's
it?
north,
Yeah,
north
it's
of Cody
north of
Go-Karts and north of the college.
Yeah.
Back
It's
in there,
mostly,
that
it's
ag land.
mostly accretion ground,
Some
some
ag.
farmland, back in there, but we've just created this pocket of, there's city on the south, city on the north of the river, and pretty much that river area is just kind of a pocket, which I think would make sense if we just close that in.
Any questions on that?
So the friendly is east of the unfriendly.
Yes.
Yes, but we don't know if it's unfriendly yet. I haven't reached out to property owners, so it might all be friendly.
They requested the one, so we know it's
Yes,
friendly.
we know that one's friendly, yes.
That one's friendly.
So, and that's all I've got on that, but just kind of wanted to give you a heads up of what we're thinking about doing.
Any other discussion on that one? Item number 11, old business. Any old business? Item number 12, any new business? The meeting scheduled for Thursday?
Thursday, the CRA.
CRA it
Community
is.
Redevelopment Authority will hear the, if we had any changes or our approval for the redevelopment plan. So they take a look at it and then forward it on to city council.
Okay.
Is that here?
Yes.
So is this,
Two more hoops for them to jump through,
Yes.
to get through.
okay. All right. Anybody have anything else for the good of the cause? If not, we are adjourned.
Sign that resolution.
I would be happy to.
How are you doing, Chance?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Hustling.
That's good, keep you going.
I know.
So there's
I can't